Go.
Hello everybody, my name is Moses Amasuo from Incisive Training, and today I want to do a short video on behalf of my friend Sal who's running a self-defense course in the Greater Manchester area. But what I'm going to talk about is completely applicable to those who work in the health sector as well, who have the occasion to meet aggressive situations or violent situations, so it'll be good for you too. The subject is the psychology of fear. What happens to our mind and what happens to our body when we face fearful or threatening or dangerous situations. So for example, for those on the self-defense course, if you're walking down the road and you sense that somebody who perhaps wants to do you harm has been following you for a couple of streets, something is going to happen in your mind and automatically happen to your body. And I want to quickly explain that. So whenever we face fear or are faced with a threat, there's a part of our brain called the amygdala, which responds emotionally. This is in contrast to the front bit of our brain, the frontal cortex, where we make conscious decisions, where we reason and we think. The amygdala is a portion of the brain which just responds by itself. It's run by the autonomic nervous system. Autonomic meaning the word, it's autonomous. So you can't help it, you can't stop it. It'll do it every time it senses fear. And what it does is it releases adrenaline throughout your body. That's why very often when you're afraid or when you're angry or feeling very emotional, you start to shake. Or after an emotional situation, you're shaking. That's adrenaline. It releases it throughout your body. It increases your heart rate, thereby increasing your blood pressure so that blood is running through your body faster, oxygenating your muscles so that you can work more and be stronger. It sends most of that blood to what they call the extremities, which are your arms and your legs, because it's getting you ready to act. Your liver also starts releasing fats and sugars in order to enable you to have more energy and more stamina. This happens all by itself. And the reason why we have this response is because in the olden days, when we used to live in sort of primitive surroundings, our main threat was that of animals. And the way that we would respond were three principal ways. Either we would fight if we could, or we would flight, which is run away if we could outrun the predator, or we would freeze if we could do neither of the two. And freezing is good against animals because often animals detect other animals by movement. So either you fight or you flight or you freeze. Hence why your body, through the amygdala, starts to do all of these things and gets you all ready and pumped up. Now, the only thing is, in this modern civilized world, that response that would have been appropriate for animals is not necessarily appropriate in a situation where you are under threat from another human being. So we need to be able to somehow get a control over this physical and mental response. And there are three things that you could do. The first thing is just knowing what I'm telling you now puts you at an advantage point. Because remember, not only will you be going through this, but also your assailant is going through this. And your assailant isn't really thinking rationally. They're now in an emotive, heightened state. So knowing this is what's going on in your body and this is what's going on in their body puts you at an advantage, and you can begin to understand why you feel the way you feel. The second thing that you could do is you can begin to take deep breaths. Deep breaths, purposeful deep breaths. And what that does is it slows your heart rate down. By slowing your heart rate down, it'll slowly reduce your blood pressure as well. And it'll begin to oxygenate your mind so that you can begin to start making thoughtful decisions and start strategizing what you're going to do next, which again puts you at a great advantage to your assailant. And then finally, the third thing is any training you do in self-defense or in PMVA or in control and restraint has to be simple. Because remember, your body at that time, because of the amygdala, is not concerned with thinking. All it wants to do is it wants to act. So trying to remember very complicated techniques and very complicated moves at that time will be very, very difficult and actually put you in an advantage. So if I'm training you or if Sal is training you, I am pretty sure that we will be giving you very straightforward, simple, easy to remember moves that you can apply even when your amygdala is going crazy. Moses Amasua here from Incisive Training. Thank you for watching.